when we were all working together on Marooned, there was a moment where everything was just going right. Every crew member was doing their job perfectly, and it was special. It was magical. And I had a similar feeling the first time I played in my high school band, where we all actually played together at the same time, and it sounded amazing. And I call it kind of like this Zen moment. Let's see here. My parents forced me to take piano lessons when I was little. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I didn't love it. And I felt like it was work, and I wasn't passionate about it. Fast forward to when I'm 14, my grandpa actually gives me my first guitar for my birthday, and he got it at like a garage sale or something like that. It's just an old guitar, fun. And I started just teaching myself how to play guitar. And I was passionate about it. Unlike piano, I really wanted it. I remember days I'd come home from school, hurry through my homework, and play for 4 or 5 hours straight, just practicing. And at first, my fingers, like everybody, started to bleed and really hurt bad, and I wasn't doing well. I was frustrated. I couldn't make any chords, and I kept pushing through it, and I started getting better and better and better. By the end of that year, I was okay on guitar. I could do quite a few chords and do some really interesting things. So now, I'm not a great player, but I'm an okay player. And I really want to be in a band. I want a bass player. I want a drummer. I want a singer, because I wasn't great at singing at the time. Well, anybody who's any good did not want to play with me. I had to find other people. So I just picked, what kind of people would I want to have in my band? Well, how about my friends? And so I remember going to school and say, hey, you should totally be a bass player, or I think you should learn drums, and trying to convince other people to get on board with my idea that we should have a band. And I had a close friend who came into school one day, and he said to me, Ben, I got a guitar. I was like, awesome, man. And he said, but something's wrong with it. It's got only 4 strings instead of 6 strings, and they're like really thick strings. And I was like, dude, I think that's a bass. It's like, sweet, I guess I'm a bass player, and that's how we started. We played for the next 6 years together, and became quite good at bass. And I found a drummer and a singer, and we all got together and started practicing. Most of us were very busy with school and work and that sort of thing while we were in high school. And so one of the few times that we could really practice was early Saturday mornings. Specifically, our singer always had something going on. It's hard to get her to come to certain practices unless we made them. So we got up super early, 5:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings, and we'd set up over in a local church that we had access to, because all of our parents at that point had said we weren't allowed to practice in houses anymore because it was too loud and too annoying, and we sucked anyways. And we would play 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. And practice our songs, and we were writing our own music and that sort of thing. And there was a moment, the first time this happened to me, where everybody was actually getting pretty good, and we were all jamming together, and we're just looking at each other, and it's just perfect. The song sounds amazing, and it was so fun. It was zen. It was a next level. You went into like a meditative state. And ever since then, I've always been trying to recapture the magic of that through music, through movies, through entrepreneurship, lots of different ways. All right, fast forward now 20 years. I now know how to play a lot of instruments. I went back to piano and got better at that. And I learned mandolin and banjo and the dobro resonator and auto harp, and I learned all these different string instruments and got pretty proficient at them. And I got really into Depression era Southern music, like the style of music you might hear in the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I started writing music like that. And I found another writing partner who was really good at that style of music too. Amazing guitar player, awesome voice. We started harmonizing together, put a little bluegrass band together. And we had a bass player that came in and a drummer, and we started doing 4-part harmony, and everybody was a multi-instrumentalist. And so we could, on each song, switch instruments. We recorded an album. We were playing every weekend somewhere in Seattle and just having a blast. We spent a lot of time at farmers markets and that sort of thing, busking and playing, and make pretty good money just on a Saturday morning. But we didn't do it for the money. We loved it. We loved it. The big pinnacle for us is we got invited to play at the Seattle Folklife Festival. And that is one of the bigger folk festivals in the West Coast. And we got to play on one of the main stages right by the Space Needle there at Seattle Center. It was the biggest crowd I've ever played to. We were so good by that point that we played our songs really, really well. Our harmonies were just particularly great that day. And we were switching off instruments every song. It was really fun for the audience. You didn't know what was going to happen through our whole set. And we had enough fans in the audience that people were singing along with some of our songs. It was so cool. It was a whole nother level. And that Zen moment happened again on stage right by the Space Needle in Seattle that day. What is this Zen moment really? I've thought a lot about this. I think it's where you can get multiple people to work on the same thing at the same time, which is kind of hard to do because everybody's got their own priorities and their own agendas in life. And you think about even building a company and having 50 employees and trying to get them all to work on the same problem together and orchestrate that. Well, think about 500 employees or 5,000. It's just the problem gets harder and harder. And company values, company mission, company vision is the only way to align that many people around this. And I think that's what the Zen moment is everybody being aligned around some greater vision than themselves, and everybody performing their duty to like their best ability. And it creates synergy. It creates something special. It creates this magic that's hard to describe. You know when you feel it. It's something that every company should aspire to attain. You know, nobody actually wants to go to a concert and just hear a drummer play by himself up on stage. Well, maybe drummers like to hear that, but generally the public doesn't love watching a drum solo for 2 hours. They want to hear the drummer and the guitar player and the bass player and the keyboardist and the singer all playing together. That's what makes it special, is the combination of the instruments together that makes the song. And that's the same thing in companies. You just can't be successful with a great sales team, but no delivery mechanism, no operations. You've got to have everybody in the company working together. And that's when you really wow your customers, is when you have a great sales experience. Then they have a great onboarding experience. Then they have a great experience with the product. Then they have a great experience with their marketing team, and then their customer support team, and so on. Everybody's working together in tandem. That's the Zen moment that you're looking for in your company. And the only way to really get this Zen moment in your company is to have the right people and the right process. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Hit like if you like this content, and hit subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. We're also doing a giveaway. There's a link in the description of some of my favorite things as a CEO that we're giving away to people. And if you're interested in learning more about JobNimbus, there's actually a link in the description. You can even set up a meeting with one of our reps to learn more and even get a live demo.